Peace is not something that we find on the outside of ourselves. We can only find peace within. But this is not what we tend to do. We always look outside of ourselves for the answer to all of our problems, for the answer to how we feel within or how we think within. Everything is coming from us, and it's about us. It's not about anything else, even if we think it is. But when we're searching for peace, we're doing that unconsciously. We're searching for peace because we want to solve our problems. We want to come up with a solution to how we're feeling. Maybe we're always feeling angry. Maybe we're always feeling disconnected from ourselves. We feel like there's something more, something we just can't reach. Maybe we're feeling lonely. But what we don't maybe realize is those things are just labels. Anger, that's a label. Lonely is just a label. And we become attached to these labels. And we may think, or we may speak, and we may tell people, oh, I'm lonely. Or I'm an angry person. Or I'm an impatient person. But they're just labels. Have we ever stopped to really think, what is loneliness? What if I'm telling people I'm lonely, then what is loneliness? What am I actually saying to someone? And we don't realize it's something we are feeling. It's something we are feeling. And maybe we are not connected to that. Because loneliness in itself, if you stopped and connected to how that felt, instead of thinking about it, because that's what we do, we love to think, have too many thoughts up there. Instead of thinking about it, if we actually stopped and sat and relaxed and just felt it. What is this loneliness that I feel? Because it's not a thought, it's a feeling. What does that feel like? What does that feel like in my body? Where is that sitting in my body? Describe how it feels. What is this feeling telling me? But we can't know that unless we are willing to sit with it and feel it. We won't find that out unless we are willing to listen. And I mean listen within. Listen to the feeling. If we are willing to ask ourselves the question, what is this loneliness? Then we have to give ourselves space to hear the answer. Because this loneliness often, most of the time, comes from sadness. I'm sad. I feel sad. What is sadness? But another label. So we have to go into the feeling and feel the feeling. Feel what this sadness is. Feel where it sits in our body. Feel what it is telling us. So I feel sad. And then maybe you might come up with, I feel disconnected. I feel disconnected from myself. I feel like I can't grasp onto something. Disconnected and sadness are two very good ways or two very good words of further explaining loneliness. Because ultimately, if you're lonely, we believe that we need somebody else in our life. And that's always nice to have. It's always nice to connect with other people. But the first port of call is actually to connect with yourself, to know yourself. I remember when I went through this, and for a few weeks, I kept telling myself, I feel lonely, I feel lonely. And I would sit by the river. I'd go for a long walk in nature and I'd sit by the river. and I'd watch the water, listen to the water. But I wasn't really sitting there feeling it. I just kept interfering with that. I kept interfering and I kept saying to myself, oh, I'm lonely. I'm just lonely. It's okay. It won't last forever. You know, in 2 weeks' time, I won't even remember this. I kept interfering with the process. I wouldn't allow myself just to sit and feel what I needed to feel. It wasn't until a couple of weeks later where I really sat down with myself and I asked myself what I wanted, and I was thinking about, of course, a relationship, because I'm lonely. I want to be with somebody else. What do I truly want from a relationship? I said to myself. And I came out with the answers. Well, I want to be loved, but to have that, I have to be a loving person. I want connection, but to have that, I have to be a person that is connected with myself. And all of a sudden, I went, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am love. I am love. And it made me sit there and I laughed and giggled about it. I thought, I am love. I had this revelation all of a sudden that I was what I was searching for. I was love. And isn't it amazing how we search outside of ourselves for this love, for this connection, for this gratitude, for this joy, for whatever it is? We search outside of ourselves because we can't connect to it within ourselves. We can't connect to that love. We can't connect to that compassion or that honesty or that gratitude or any of it. So we look outside of ourselves to find it. And in this moment, when I realized I was love, I could feel it, I could connect to it. But it was only because I allowed myself to sit. I gave myself the space. I allowed silence to come in. I meditated on it. And I allowed myself the time, the space, and the silence to feel it, to just be there with it. It's not a pleasant feeling. When people say, I'm lonely, it's not a pleasant feeling. But that feeling is there trying to show you something, trying to tell you something, trying to open up to something. And when instead we look outside of ourselves and we try to find it outside of ourselves, we miss it. We let it go by. And then we get back to our busy lives. And we pretend it's not there anymore. But no matter what you do, if you externalize anything, you're not going to solve the problem. You're not going to get to the root cause of the problem and heal the problem. It will just always be there, continuously circulating around and round and round until you notice it, until you choose to pay attention to it, because it's our responsibility to pay attention to it, because nobody can do that for us. Nobody. The only person that can do that is us. So next time you're feeling lonely, take the time to actually feel it, to know what it is, to know how that feels within you. Give yourself the time and the space and the silence to just feel it. Sit there with it. Allow it to move through you. And also, there are other ways that you can do this. You see, we love to connect with others. That's a human experience and a very important one. But that connection has to come from within us. It comes from within us, and we express it outwards and onto another person. We can go out and we can meet other people. We can go out and we can volunteer. Become a part of a group, a like-minded group, something that you enjoy. Get out there, contribute, and do something. And when we do that, we're not only connecting with others, but we are also bringing about that connection within ourselves. Why does that happen? Because there is meaning in what we are doing. There's meaning for us. And we're allowing that meaning and that purpose within to be expressed outwards. I know, we just think of it. We go out in the world and we just think of it as talking to someone or doing something. But how does it make us feel? It makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we are contributing. It makes us feel worthy. It makes us feel important in the world. It gives us meaning and it gives us purpose. And this is why I draw and colour in my pictures. You may see it just as a drawing or a picture, but I'm expressing myself into this paper through the pencils. And I'm printing out, well, I'm not printing out, I'm drawing it. I'm drawing this picture. This is coming from within me. The colours I want to put down are coming from within me, and I'm expressing this out into the world. This is meaningful to me. It is purpose. It is your purpose to express yourself. And that includes with connecting to other people. So take the time and give yourself the space. Give yourself the silence that you need to feel what you are feeling. We don't need to label it. We don't need to call it loneliness. We just need to feel it. Hear its message. And if you need to connect to other people, because you also need to connect to yourself, take the time to go out into the world and connect with others, like-minded people. Do things that you enjoy. Go for a walk in nature, because that will connect you to yourself. And I hope you have a beautiful day. See you next time.